Hello again, it's Wing Nation presented by Sage Fruit, talking sprint car racing, our favorite time of the week, and we are so glad that you have joined us. Steve Post here in the Hercules Tire Studios, and from our Lethal Chassis Studios in Pennsylvania, Ashley Stremme virtually alongside. How are you?
I'm doing fabulous. How about yourself, Steve?
I am really, really well. Ashley, when I look at this past weekend, and this is beyond sprint car racing, the sprint car weekend was pretty good. We're going to cover a lot of that. But when I look at this weekend, first off, our cohort, Erin Evernham, her other half, Ray Evernham and Tony Stewart, they launched this SRX deal. And I am telling you, what a neat project this is that's headed to Knoxville this weekend.
It's so true. David is the actual test driver for SRX along with Kenny Schrader. So I've got a little bit of insight information. Everyone's extremely pumped. They had really great ratings. The place was packed. Stafford did an incredible job. The fans were extremely into it. I think we have a lot of good stuff to come, and it'll be interesting to see how Knoxville goes since it'll be their first time on dirt. And we'll see if a ringer like Brian Brown can end up on top again.
Yeah, that modified guy, Doug Colby, put the heat right on Brian Brown. Just put the crosshairs right on Brownie to see how he does representing the hometown crew. When we look a little bit closer to our dirt track world, Ashley, Eldora Speedway is doing something really neat this year. They're doubling up on everything. In other words, coming up in a few weeks, it's double the King's Royal, but they had double the dream. And this guy with the nickname Big Sexy, Brandon Overton, he walked out of there with $276,000. And speaking of a big crowd, boy, that was an impressive weekend up at Eldora.
Yes, kudos to Brandon. Absolutely incredible. Everyone wondered if he could do it again, and I'll be honest, I wasn't in that group. It's hard to win at Eldora, but to do it twice in the fashion that Brandon did is absolutely incredible. It'll be awesome to see if we can get a sprint car guy to do the same thing when they get there.
We'll see what happens. The pressure is on our sprint car guys there as well. And speaking of pressure on sprint car, well, Kyle Larson just keeps doing Kyle Larson things. He won the All-Star race. This is as impressive, if not more impressive, than what he did last year.
It's true, but what impressed me even more is the fact that Kyle mentioned Brandon Overton winning twice in his press conference release. How incredible is that? So it just truly shows you really how down to earth Kyle is and how much he loves his dirt track roots.
He is a one-man band preaching the dirt track gospel to the rest of the world, and he is doing a wonderful job. And when we get to our sprint cars, our beloved sprint cars, we have moments like this. The Flow Racing All-Star Circuit of Champions, Fremont Speedway last week. Danny Dietrich leading. Here comes Cole Duncan and our friend Blake Anderson with the call.
And now for the Dryden death-defying move of the week, where one driver simply amazes us with their on-track moves.
Here comes Cole Duncan down the backstretch, drag race for the lead into turn number 3. Final 2 left-hand turns, Dietrich closes the door. Duncan's got one last charge left at him. Off of turn number 4, it's going to be a drag race. It's Cole Duncan by a nose! What a thriller at Fremont!
That death-defying move was brought to you by Dryden Diesel All Death, the official DEF of the World of Outlaws and wheelmen everywhere. Visit Dryden.com for more information.
Pride. Passion.
Performance.
We are
Team Dryden.
Welcome back. It is Wing Nation presented by Sage Fruit. Let's get right to it. The Hercules Tire Hotline. Joining us now is the point leader from the Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour, JJ Hickle. Hello, JJ. Welcome back to Wing Nation.
Hey, happy to be on the show. How are you guys today?
This is so neat. One of my favorite parts of the ASCS National Tour is their trip up to the Midwest, Grays Harbor and Skagit. It's got to be neat for you because that's home cooking for you. So are you getting back around the family and getting back up north to home there?
Yeah, absolutely. This is definitely probably my favorite week of the year for a lot of reasons. We get to get back home to cool weather, and I gotta stay with my girlfriend for a few days there before we race at Skagit on Saturday, and then now I'm down at my dad's shop here in Quilcene, and only the second time I've been back home to see my dad since about last February. So I'm thrilled to be here. And then also, when we get racing with the national tour, it's going to be really nice to be at some familiar tracks that we're already pretty comfortable at.
Well, you look pretty comfortable because right off the bat, you picked up wins earlier this year. You said it yourself. You haven't been home really since February of last year. Kind of talk about what all this travel's been like and really kind of living your dream here, JJ.
Yeah, I mean, the travel it's travel. It's not my favorite part of it, but I drive around in a semi truck and we live in that. And but man, as far as getting to see all the racetracks and the experiences we're getting to do, it's seriously, it's really living a dream. And I just couldn't be happier to be out here, just getting to see all these places and getting to compete at places like Eldora and Knoxville. Just, you couldn't really ask for much more.
JJ, I want to pursue that Ashley's question, living your dream. And we talked a little bit before we came on the air. You are an electrician working your job, hoping a sprint car owner calls you. What is that like, and what was the process when that sprint car owner called you?
There was several different people that I had gone and drove for. Lots of different teams that I'd raced with just for here and there, half a season or whatever, and to finally have somebody commit to me and have me move down in with them and stuff. It really meant the world to me. And I've always had bosses that were really friendly, really nice. The worst thing my boss ever told me is, I hope you're not being your own agent on the clock. And I told him when they call, I got to answer. I'll work an extra 10 or 15 minutes at the end of the day. But man, I've always had great people around me that just really encouraged me to chase my dreams. And then I've been fortunate enough to have a couple of car owners call me back after after I've reached out or been able to get a few opportunities. It's been really, really a good deal.
How hard was it to make this decision? Because you were kind of given, I don't want to say an ultimatum, but you knew going into this that this was only going to be a year deal. So how hard was it to go ahead and chase that dream? Obviously, it sounds great, but to teeter on that fence of continuing your everyday employment or going and chasing your dream, was that kind of a hard situation that you really had to think through, or were you all in the minute you got the phone call?
I mean, to be honest, it was kind of an interesting deal because when I moved down to California, that was last year, and that was supposed to be the car owner's last season. But with the way that COVID and everything happened, it just ended up where this will be their last year because they didn't want to go out with like kind of a half season. And so, but before I moved down to California, I mean, the wife, Jane Warden, she's the owner of the team. She asked me if I wanted to move in, and I don't even think that she finished her sentence before I said absolutely, And she looked at me like I was crazy. Like, don't you need to think about it or talk to some people? But anybody in my life knew that was all I wanted. Even if it's if it was for 10 races, I would have done it. Just because I believe in myself and I believe with the right people around me that if I can go out and run up front, that we can parlay this into another opportunity. We can just hopefully keep running up front and people will take notice.
Your team owners are Ivan and Jane Warden. We're going to talk a little bit more about Jane maybe in the next segment because her participation on the team is spectacular in many senses, I'm sure. But let's talk a little bit about Ivan. He sounds to me like just the type of crew chief, car chief, team owner, racer that everyone wants to affiliate with. Tell me more about Ivan and all of the skill sets that he has as a team owner.
Ivan is amazing. He builds our motors in a little tiny engine room in his shop and builds them all. Just assembles everything from scratch and just does a really, really good job. We have top-notch engines all the time. And he's truly amazing. He goes to work every day at Kaiser Permanente as a carpenter, and then gets off of work and has a T-shirt and a vinyl company, and then I guess in his off time is building these pretty awesome sprint car engines. I mean, he's only built just the ones for us, but man, he does a really phenomenal job. And then he goes back to work on he flies back home on Sunday and then shows back up to the races on Friday, and we try and have the car ready, and then he can look at me and look at the car and look at the track. Almost always we can work together, and he'll have me with a top 5 car just about every night. Even the really impressive thing is we can go to brand new places we've never been, and he could still have me with a really fast race car all the time, you know. So, yeah, it's definitely the type of guy that everybody wants to get hooked up with. And a big thing about it that makes us work together good is that he used to race just a few years ago. And so, like, when I'm feeling something that's kind of hard to explain, he's really good about knowing what I'm going through out there. And, you know, he's really a driver's owner. Like, anything that I need or want or anything, you know, he really takes care of me. Him and Jane both take care of me today, but I mean, he can make a car fast, and he'll really listen and work with the driver. So I'm very lucky and very happy to be doing what I'm doing with him.
You mentioned a top 5 runs in 9 ASCS National Tour races, 7 top 5. So yes, indeed, you certainly have a great ride. We need to step away. Stick around with us, everyone. More with JJ Hickle coming up in just a moment.
Hey Ashley, what are you up to?
Oh, I just stopped by to grab some sage fruit apples. Now I just have to decide which ones.
You can never go wrong with a Honey Crisp. They're light, crisp, and full of perfectly balanced flavor.
Oh, hey.
You could always go with one of their classics, the Gala or Fuji. They're both sweet and juicy.
Grown in the heart of Eastern Washington, Sage Fruit Company works hard on the farm and with their retail partners to provide high-quality apples and pears to consumers all year long.
Well, I couldn't decide which ones. Thanks for the help, guys.
I'll race you to checkout.
Wing Nation, presented by Sage Fruit. Continuing on the Hercules Tire Hotline, we are joined by the point leader for the Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour, JJ Hickle. Before the break, I wanted to get Ivan out of the way. Ivan is the nuts and bolts guy for the race team, okay? Now, Jane, she tends to the important stuff. When you were on with Aaron and I earlier this year on a Wing Nation show on wingnation.com, you shared that Jane brings cooking expertise to the road. Tell me what she's been making for you and what you guys have been living on as far as good eats on the road.
Oh man, well, she's made a shepherd's pie last week, which is one of my favorites. Oh man, I should have wrote down my meals I've been having. She's been awesome. I mean, we have big breakfast cast, you know, big sausage, eggs, all that stuff, pretty much all the time. And split pea soup with ham. That's another one of my favorites. Pretty much if I see good stuff on a menu or something, we just kind of try and write it down and bring it home, and she'll figure out. She goes on Instagram or whatever and finds recipes and just makes awesome stuff. We had Traeger chicken at like some chicken out of the Traeger at Skagit on Saturday. It just seems like it's just always something good, you know. And then she always tries to take care of a couple of our friends out on the tour, or, you know, people know that if they're hungry, they kind of just mosey on into our trailer and ask how we did. But then, oh, hey, look, there's food, you know. So it works out good. And everybody knows that she's an excellent cook, and it's really been enjoyable getting to eat all of her food.
A very large key to a sprint car team for sure, especially when you're on the road. And JJ, you just kind of mentioned it. You know, you have other teams that come over and will eat. How imperative and how important has it been to really build that bond with other guys that are on the tour this year?
Oh, that is huge. You know, I mean, we're going to places that are brand new, we've never seen before all the time. And just to have people, you know, tell us, hey, don't park over there. Your motorhome's going to get a broken window. Just all the little stuff you wouldn't even think of. And then when you're able to ask somebody, you know, hey, what gear do you think we should run at a place like this? Because like the ASCS tour, you don't qualify or anything. So you hot lap, and then it's time for competition. So if you don't have it pretty close right out of the box, you're going to have a long night. So it's been huge to have all these other teams and build these friendships. I mean, that's one thing is, you know, we're building friendships. So like this, I don't really see myself being able to be on the tour again. Who knows when? But like I'll definitely be friends with all these people for forever. You know, so. It's really been awesome, and that's one of the parts, you know, that you don't really think about when you're getting ready to go out there. That's been a real pleasant surprise, is making some really good friends.
Making some really good friends at some really neat racetracks. We follow the Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour on Flow Racing. Our boys, the Racing Boys, do it. But you're also picking and choosing some races along the way. I can't even fathom, as a sprint car junkie that you are, 3 consecutive weeks to go run Eldora, Knoxville, and then back home at Skagit. What is that like to just see these iconic places and get a chance to race at them?
It's been incredible. You know, we were scheduled to go to Little Rock on a Saturday night, and they rained it out, and we just kind of started looking at the schedule, and we're like, well, Eldora is pretty far away, but God, wouldn't it be cool to race at Eldora? Our schedule doesn't go there, so we just all kind of got our heads together, like, heck yeah, let's go to Eldora, you know. So we had a national show on Friday in Illinois, and we pulled into Eldora about 7:30 in the morning. I drove all the way so my helpers could sleep, and then once we got there, they woke up, got the car ready, and I slept all day, and we went out and we had a really fun night, and it's just getting to go to three awesome places. I mean, all three of those places are just pretty darn well known and legendary, and just it's pretty humbling, to get to go race at all these places and see your name up on those boards and stuff. It's pretty darn cool.
JJ, all those tracks, Eldora, Knoxville, you were in Tennessee at Volunteer, getting to check those off your list. Is there one you're looking forward to checking off your list that you haven't got to race at yet this year?
Lucas Oil Speedway, definitely. That's a place that everybody tells me that it's an awesome racetrack. I've seen a ton of videos of how, it looks like it's great racing. Sounds like it's the best facility you could ever imagine. And I'm really looking forward to getting there. I like a nice, slick, smooth track, and it looks like it's my cup of tea.
A little behind the scenes here. We are doing this interview as you are walking your dog. What type of dog do you have?
He's a lab husky mix. He pretty much just looks like a slightly overweight, older lab.
Neat. That's good stuff. That is for sure. JJ, when you put together a program like this, it's great. We've talked about Ivan and Jane. We've talked about you. We've talked a little bit about the road life and everything. How did you put it together, and how did you put all the partnerships and all of the pieces together, the funding together for this journey that you're on for this season?
Yeah, the off season was pretty crazy. It was a lot of hustling trying to get, our truck and trailer ready and everything like that. But then at the same time, you got to be able to go out and fund it and make it happen. So yeah, we definitely have some partners I'd like to thank, because we wouldn't be out here doing it if it wasn't for them. We got Stripless Dispensing Solutions, Design Prototype, First Precision Parts, J&M Manufacturing, and then all of our product sponsors: Stevie Smith Titanium, Slade Stock, Hug and Sam, Speedway Motors, System 1 Ignition, and Highline Performance is taking care of us here while we're at home. And big shout out to my crew. Jane and Ivan are great. Pat, Jimmy, my girlfriend, she schedules all the flights for Ivan and the crew to fly back and forth. So it truly is a team effort. I'm out here kind of driving around the country, and those guys are flying back and forth, working their butts off. I'm kind of living the dream out here. It's still a lot of work. It's still a lot of work all week long, but man, I tell you what, it's more enjoyable to be an electrician, that's for sure. And I actually really like being an electrician.
JJ, my arms, because I'm a guy that pursued my dream, my arms are tingling a little bit. The hair on my arms are standing up, because I love people who pursue their dreams, and I'm love following along with you this year. We appreciate the time. We wish you the best at the home tracks up there, Grays Harbor and Skagit, for the big one next weekend. But thanks for joining us here on Wing Nation.
Yeah, thank you guys very much, and hopefully we'll keep it rolling here for the next few years.
JJ Hickle, boy, I'm telling you, if that doesn't inspire you, nothing will. Stay with us. Our Tweet Your Seat Tweet of the Week and a lap around the sprint car world are coming up.
Power isn't born, it's built over time. For over 65 years, Hercules Tires has been providing the muscle to move more drivers. Whatever the vehicle, whatever the terrain, and we back it with a powerful protection plan. So wherever the road or the trail takes you, we have the selection, value, and strength to get you there. Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength.
We're back. You're watching Wing Nation, presented by Sage Fruit, and it is time for the Tweet Your Seat Tweet of the Week. And this one is really freaking cool. It comes from KSL Lincoln Speedway this past weekend, it was the Fallen Firefighters Night in memory of Brandon Little. Really cool picture of the flag hanging off the ladder trucks there in the background. Just awesome.
Lincoln always does this night so big. It's such a special night for everybody. And Freddie Raymer picked up his third win of the season. And actually, that's his third win on Fallen Firefighters Night. So it's become a pretty special night for him as well. But Freddie actually in Victory Lane talked about the meaning of that night. And they do a lot of things right at Lincoln Speedway, and their Fallen Firefighters Night is certainly one of them. All right, let's take a lap around the sprint car world. We're going to start off in turn number 1 with one great performance, Knoxville Raceway. How about this? The Brownells Big Gun Bash, World of Outlaws versus the Midwesterners, and Carson Macedo picked up both wins over the weekend. His 11th career win, 5th of 2021. Ashley, he was rolling there at Knoxville.
He sure was, and I'm sure it's a pretty good feeling for Carson now, knowing that the 60th Knoxville Nationals is just around the corner, and he's already got 2 wins under his belt there.
Yeah, and also just for car owner and Philip Dietz. He's had so much success at Knoxville, winning the big race, and I can't imagine the confidence level that they have rolling out of Knoxville. And by the way, the point battle for the World of Outlaws is tightening as well, with Carson Macedo and David Gravel closing in a little bit over last weekend on Brad Sweet. Off turn number 1 to turn number 2, and another great performance, this time with the IRA bumper-to-bumper sprints. This is a Wisconsin-based 410 Sprint Tour, and I love this story. Scotty Neitzel, a 20-year veteran of IRA racing, Beaver Dam, Wisconsin. He won both races last weekend, Ashley, but there's a little bit more to this story.
Yes, he's a 2-time champion, 23 career wins, but his last win hasn't come since 2016 until Friday. He picked up the win at Hartford, then Saturday at Wilmot. 25th career victory. Absolutely awesome.
Wow, that just amazes me to go 5 years, nearly 5 years between wins after doing this for so long, and then to just back-to-back. So Scotty Neitzel, a great story up there with a great tour, the IRA bumper-to-bumper sprints. Off turn number 2, down the back straightaway, and this story is just amazing. Stephanie Linder, Flow Racing All-Star Circuit of Champions. Now, historically, Stephanie would take the drivers' uniforms during Ohio Speed Week and wash them, make sure that the guys are clean. But, Ashley, this has grown into something a lot bigger than that.
Yeah, the last couple of years, she's been asking for donations, just snacks, drinks, anything these guys need to get through the week. Paper towels, gift cards to restaurants so they can grab something to eat. What Stephanie's done and what she's built this into over the last several years, kudos to her. She's doing something big for the sprint car world and giving back.
Finally, off turn number 4, little 305 racing in Texas on Saturday night. I went to Devil's Bowl Speedway, the birthplace of the World of Outlaws in Mesquite, Texas. The 305s in Texas are stout. IMCA National Point Leader Marcus Thomas was there, and the big winner was Austin Mundy. But boy, the 305 world in Texas is really stout, and there you have it. Our lap around the sprint car world. Stay with us, more Wing Nation in just a moment.
I'm not ready yet. Come on. All right, I'm ready now.
Hey, Ashley, what are you up to?
I just stopped by to pick up my sage fruit apples. Now I just have to decide which ones.
Yeah, okay.
This is what it looks like when you do it.
Ta-da!
Take a deep breath, count to 5. It's like running across a rhythm section at a motocross track.
Mine was perfect.
Wing Nation continues on. Ashley, we are hanging out next week, and we are in for a great time. It's the showdown. It starts at Houston Speedway the first part of the week. It goes to Jackson the last part of the week. We get a chance to hang out, do some live shows, and we're going to be on Dirt Vision, too. What a big event they have planned for us up there next week, up in the North Country.
Yes, Houston, 30,000 to win. Sunday it's the Chuck Siderick tribute race, easy for me to say, for 6,000. And then Monday and Tuesday, the World of Outlaws for their 43rd edition of the AGCO Jackson Nationals, 50,000 to win. It's going to be an awesome week. I've never been, so I'm super pumped to see what all there is to do there.
It is great, that's for sure. I can't wait. I'm getting to Houston for the first time. Wing Nation is going to be live from all the World of Outlaw races, Monday and Tuesday at Houston, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at Jackson. This is going to be streamed on Dirt Vision, and it'll be on Dirt Vision and Wing Nation Facebook pages. They've got everything. They got a hauler parade on Wednesday, a golf tournament. Ashley, you've got to get into the pancake breakfast over at Jackson. Aaron and I did that. Craft fair, AGCO open house, and so much more. They even a 5K walk and run. So, Ashley, you're in for a treat getting to check out those 2 racetracks.
I will be streaming that.
It is neat, that is for sure. Hey, we appreciate JJ Hickle for joining us here on the program. More important, though, than all of that, thank you for joining us here on Wing Nation, presented by Sage Fruit.